Okay, same thing, we have two linear equations. The very first thing we're gonna do is get this into y equals mx plus b form. So I'm just gonna write that down to make it easier for me. Is this one already set up?
Yeah.
Yep, we have a b, we have a rise and run. This one right here is not, so we need to work on this one and we need to get it to equal to y. So we're going to do the opposite of x. We're going to add x to both sides. It's going to cancel out. Y equals x plus 3. Now we have two lines, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to graph these out. Someone help me with how I start to graph these out. This one right here. Daisy, tell me where to start here. Start at the one on the, okay, the y-axis, and then what do I do? Yes. Okay, so up one, over one, up one, over one, and then this is our line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we want to make sure that we label our line. Y equals x plus 1. Erica, you want to try the next one? Tell me where to start on this one. How I'm going to graph this line out right here. We just did this one, now we're going to do this one. See how we started on 1 and then rise and run? Isn't the rise and run the same here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start at 3, right? So I'm going to go to 3, going to put a dot, I'm going to go up 1 over 1. So what are these lines? Yep, they're parallel. So we're going to label this one, y equals x plus 3. Now we have three things that we're going to cover, okay? We're going to cover description, right? And in this case, our description is parallel and same slope, correct? Good job. Okay, now classification. What's my classification? Inconsistent. Very good. Yep. Solutions is next. So this is how you're going to do your do now too, and there's none. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. It's none because they don't ever run into each other. They have the same slope. They can't run into each other. Okay, so they're never going to connect. That's what we're talking about in regards to solutions. And inconsistent always means if there are no solutions. So wouldn't that just be a parallel line that's inconsistent? Everything else is going to be consistent, and this describes the line. Okay, so let's start to work on this one. What do I need to do there first? Is this one in slope form? Very good. I got to do distributive properties. So I have to multiply this inside here and this inside here. Okay, so what am I expecting? I'm expecting this part to be written out, for it to be graphed, and describe the three things, okay? So this next one, we're going to rewrite this. This is going to be y equals, we're going to multiply 2 times x, 2x, and then we're going to multiply 2 times 3 plus 6. Now we have it in slope form, correct? Yeah, we have it in slope form. Now we need to work on this one. Morrison, help me out with this one. What do I need to do with this one to get it in slope form?
Divide 2y.
What type of 2?
2y.
Very good. Now do I leave the y alone?
Yeah.
Okay, you're correct. I divide by -2, I divide by -2, all the terms within here, okay? So this is a negative by a negative dividing, it cancels this out. This becomes y equals 2 divided by -1, which is what? Negative x, right? And then 6 divided by 2, -3. We have our two lines, don't we? Okay, Morrison, help me graph this one since you helped me through with this one. Where do I start on this one? -3. And where do I start that -3?
On the y.
Okay, so I'm going to go to -3 and then tell me what direction I'm going to go.
Down.
Down 1, what direction, left or right?
Right.
I'm sorry?
Right.
Okay, right. He's correct. So there's this, whoa, connected that bad. First line, we're going to label this, y equals -x minus 3. Now we're going to do the next one. Daisy, can you help me out with the next one? Okay, where do I start with this one? Okay, so I'm going to go up 6 on the y-axis. Okay, 6, and then what direction am I going?
Go up 2 and 1 0.
Okay, and so now I'm going to go down 2 and over 1, right?
Yeah.
And then down 2 and over again. And aren't these lines going to connect up? Yes? Okay, so we're going to label this one. This one's y equals 2x plus 6. Okay, so let's talk about our descriptions. What is our description here?
Different slope.
Yes, different slopes.
Constant and independent.
And our classification is what?
Consistent and
Yep, consistent. And how many solutions do we have?
exactly one.
Yes. Okay, let's go over this real quick. Exactly one, because they're connecting up, they only connect at one ordered pair, right? They had different slopes and they're different lines. So we did everything, description, classification, and solutions. Now I have a question, is this independent or dependent?
Independent.
Independent. These lines sit by themselves, yes. Okay, let's move on to this one. Are these two in y equals mx plus b form? Okay, no, so we need to work on this one. Okay, Daisy, you mind doing this one for me?
Yeah.
Tell me what to do here.
You divide
Yes, divide by what?
9.
Good. Okay, we divide by 9, this cancels out. Y equals, what do I do here?
You divide. It's a 6.
Well, it's a fraction, right? It's 3 and 9, so what ends up being right here?
Negative 3 x or 6
Let's try again. It goes in, we want to reduce this, right? It's 3 over 9.
Yeah.
Doesn't, and 3 goes into 9, correct? How many times?
3.
2. Oh, wait.
3?
Nine.
3 times 3 is
Yeah.
9. So this becomes 1/3, right? That's our rise and run. 1/3 x. And then what is 18 divided by 9?
2.
Good. So we're done with this line, right? Remember, we can leave this as a fraction because that is our rise and run. It means we're up 1 and we're over 3. So we took care of the first line, right? So let's focus on the next one now. We have 1/3 x minus y equals negative 2. Who wants to take this one? Morrison? How am I going to start on this one, you think?
Subtract the 1/3.
Very good. We're going to rewrite. What goes first?
2.
The x, right? Because we have to have rise and run, and that's our b, our y-intercept. Okay, what do I do now?
You subtract the negative by, it's -1, so you would subtract it by -1.
Okay, can I subtract this, or what type of math happens here?
Division.
Very good. We divide it by -1. And we divide this by -1 because there's an imaginary 1 in front of here, right? A variable has at least a value of 1. So we're going to divide this entire thing by -1. So isn't this just going to change the signs?
Yeah.
Negative by a negative, negative by a negative. So we're going to have y equals 1/3 x plus 2. Okay, here's our first one. What just happened here?
They got the same slope.
The lines are exactly the same, right? So we're going to go ahead and graph those out. We're going to start at 2. And then our rise and run is going to be up 1 and over 3, down 1 over 3, right? That's going to be our line. But our second line's identical, isn't it? Someone say yes. So our lines are identical. So Daisy, help me out. When our lines are identical, what's my description?
Same slopes and same line.
Yep, same slopes, same line. Very good. What about classification? Consistent and what? Very good. Why is it dependent?
The same line?
Yeah, sure. They're right on top of each other. If they're right on top of each other, they're dependent on one another. If we didn't have that on a line, we wouldn't have this, would we? Very good. Okay, and what about our solutions? Now, can you tell me why it's infinitely many? We have a whole lot of ordered pairs, don't we? These ordered pairs and these arrows are going on forever. We're going to have so many ordered pairs, there's no way for us to count them. It's going to go on forever. Okay, any questions on that? Pretty easy, right? Okay, same thing, get this in slow form. All of them, graph them out, see what happens, give me the 3 things. Description, classification, and solutions, okay? You want to turn in those 4 questions, and then have all these steps written out when you go to turn it in, okay?